The roots of the Great Depression began here on Wall Street in 1929. It wiped out millions of investors, and by 1933, there were 15 million Americans unemployed and nearly half the banks had failed. Nowadays, the economic impact of the coronavirus is raising the specter of this happening again.
The shock that we're going to see over the next couple of months does bear and makes a comparison reasonable with what happened in the United States in 1929. In fact, in some ways, it's even more intense because it's happening so quickly. But we could very easily be seeing unemployment rates in the double digits. It's over 20% is not unreasonable at this point.
During the Great Depression, 1 in every 3 New Yorkers were unemployed, leading to many massive breadlines to survive. Today, more than 3.3 million New Yorkers are standing on the unemployment line. New York University economics professor Nouriel Roubini, also known as Dr. Doom, predicted the 2008 market crash.
This is going to be worse than the global financial crisis of 2007, 2009. This was not a consensus view a month ago. Even mainstream Wall Street firms like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley expect a very severe recession, falling at the annual rate between 25 to 30% in the US in the second quarter.
Coronavirus cases topped 75,000 in New York State, including Governor Cuomo's brother, Chris Cuomo. The impact of the virus has devastated businesses and restaurants while forcing the closures of schools, churches, and social gatherings.
It's deep. Like, we don't know. We know what isolation means to people, right? We know that it's a really bad thing. It's bad for people's mental health and their physical health. It's bad for social relationships. And here we're isolating an entire planet.
During the Great Depression, New York Central Park became a shanty town of impoverished people. Today, field hospitals have been erected there to receive the overflow from city hospitals stretched to the limit by the COVID-19 outbreak. And the question is, when the economy finally does turn around, what will be the new normal? After lockdowns and quarantines and thousands of deaths, what will American society be like? What kind of scars will remain?
It is going to be scarring. There are going to be tens of millions of people who are not going to get back to the financial position they were in at the beginning of this year for years to come if they ever do. And I have to say that we should fear the worst at this point because we are going a long way downhill before we begin the recovery. The unemployment numbers are going to be terrifying for the coming weeks.
Some things will never go back to where they were in certain pieces of the system, and the lives of many, many people will never return to what they were. I'm starting to see the weariness on people's faces. People, I think, are looking ahead and saying, oh my gosh, I really had no idea what I was in for.
Frank Ucciardo, TRT World, New York.